Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to everyone. Welcome to our second day of class. I hope that you all enjoyed yesterday's session. And this morning, we are going to be talking about boundaries. So, when it comes to boundaries, the first thing we want to do, it looks like someone's here. Hold on, let me see. Good morning, Harrison. How are you? First in the building, showing up to class, front row seat. I appreciate you being here. Good seeing you. Driving and listening. Good deal. Good deal. I appreciate that. Thank you. So yes, we're talking about boundaries this morning. And when it comes to boundaries, the first thing we have to do is know thyself. Okay. No one knows us better than we ourselves. So the only person who can create the best boundaries around us is us. Okay. Good morning, YouTube Court TV. Shout out to the men in the building. All right, ladies, for those of you who think that men don't care about communicating or relationships or all that, they are showing up this morning for class. So I appreciate you being there, being here. I'll just wait a couple more seconds. I'll give it like maybe 1 minute and before I get started, see if a few more people show up. If not, I'm going to go ahead and get started. How are y'all doing? Well, I know you can't talk, so never mind. Don't even bother trying to chat. I hope you have a smooth ride on your way to work. In YouTube Court TV, how are you? Hello, Donnery Love. Welcome in. Good to see you. I finally got my StreamYard working this morning so shout out to the positive pusher. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm definitely a morning person. So this is my time. I love mornings. I like to bring energy. So I'm a little more faded in the evenings and at night, but you do what you have to do. When you're married, you have family and all that good stuff. You got to work your life around the time. How are you, Donnery Love? I hope things are well for you this morning. Am I the only morning person? Are you all morning person? Oh, thank you. Not you. Okay, it's all right. It's all right. Hey, I'm happy you're here because I know a lot of people, wouldn't even dream of being up at this hour to do anything. So I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you for sharing me out as well. So yeah, I got my StreamYard working last night. The positive pusher, for those of you all who may not know her, she is another YouTube content creator who puts out all sorts of positive information for your life. And she helped me out yesterday getting my StreamYard going. So I'm not going to be doing anything fancy this morning with it. I'm just happy that it's working and that it's on. And as I learn to play with it a little bit more, I will definitely, start doing some different things with it. So it looks like it's definitely user-friendly. And so I'm happy that I got it. All right, well, it is 5:03 on my clock, and we have 3 people in the building, so I'm excited that y'all are here, and I don't want to shortchange you 1 minute of this information that I have for you this morning. So this morning, we're talking about boundaries, and like I was saying, no one knows us better than we ourselves, so we have to be the ones to, create the boundaries for us. People don't know what bothers us, what irritates us, what triggers us, what, any of those things about who we are and, how we like to communicate and how we like to be communicated to. So therefore, when we are, trying to have conversations and being in relationships with people, we have to make sure that we have boundaries in place, especially when it comes to, what I call different types of characters. Thank you, YouTube Court TV, for sharing me out. I appreciate that. All right, so how do we decide what types of boundaries to create, who to create those boundaries with, how to express them, and how do we get people to respect them more so than anything, right? How do we get people to respect the boundaries that we have set up? Well, number one, they can't respect them unless they know that we have them. And so we have to be the ones to be diligent about expressing our boundaries. So what I decided to do this morning so that we could have some real concrete examples of where and how and who we should create boundaries with is I just, came up with 5 common characters that we pretty much all have in our lives in some way, shape, or form that we need to have boundaries around. Okay. So we're going to talk about those 5 different characters and what we should say to them and to make sure that they understand that we have boundaries. All right. The first one is the frequent caller or that frequent visitor. Okay. And excuse me if I have to clear my throat this morning. I still have the froggies going on in there. So this is for that person who's constantly calling you all throughout the day or showing up at your house every day of the week or, periodically throughout the week or, all over the weekend, whenever it is. And we appreciate them, right? We love them. Maybe these are our friends or family members and we're happy that they're there, but they're kind of encroaching upon our time a little bit too much. And we have to figure out how to let them know that maybe we don't want them, visiting as often or calling so frequently, or just keeping us on the phone for long, extended periods of time. So the first thing we want to do with that type of person is set time limits. Okay. We have to let them know when we're available for them to call or, come over to say, hey, I appreciate you coming over and spending time with us. But, on these days we do, this and that, or can you limit the time or to come on, from this time to this time? You are welcome to be here, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, or Thursday through Friday, or whatever day of the week that you want, that you don't mind them coming over. And so that they know that, okay, it's okay for them to come over at this particular time. And if they get offended, it's okay, let them get offended. But just make sure that when they decide that when they do come, that they're welcome, that you're happy for them to be there. So that they understand that it's not that you don't want them to be there, it's just maybe you don't want them to be there as much as they are. Or when someone is calling you on the phone and that it's going to be a long conversation, maybe you're slightly dreading that, or contemplating whether or not you should even pick up the phone because it might be, a 1 hour, 2 hour conversation and you really don't have time for it. But it could be somebody that's going through something that that they would want to talk to you. So when you have someone in your life like that, you want to let them know up front, hey, I'm so glad you called me, but I really only have about 30 minutes to chat with you. So, let's go ahead and talk, so that they understand up front what we have, what time we have available, and they know to sum up what they need to do. Because when people think we have an unlimited amount of time, because they have an unlimited amount of time, they want to continue to talk and take up our time. And sometimes we have other things that we have to be doing. We have responsibilities. We have people who pull on us. We have, just private time that we want to have. Good morning, Kay Renee. How are you? Welcome in. Good seeing you. Good seeing you. I'm happy you're here. Good morning. All right, so we want to set time limits, let them know whether or not they can come, what days they're welcome to come, let them know what times they're, welcome to come by or call, or make sure that they understand that we only have a certain time frame or time period to be able to talk or communicate with them. So they know that we're not trying to avoid them. We're just trying to make sure that we still keep our lives and our responsibilities and who we are a priority. Okay, so those are definitely some things we can do. And then here's another one that sometimes with the texting, right? I know texting is a wonderful thing, and people have they like to put you on group text sometimes, especially if you have like a group of friends. And so sometimes, and I don't know about you all, but sometimes if you have, particular times that you do certain things. Maybe you don't get up before a certain time, or you go to bed at a particular time. Sometimes the texting can go on, all throughout the day, and then your phone is ringing, or dinging early in the morning, or dinging way at night after you're going to bed. And maybe you want to cut your phone off, or but you can't cut your phone off because you have, kids, or you want to keep your phone open for emergencies or whatever it is. Then ask people, hey, can you guys, not put me on your group text, before this time or after this time, or come up with a consensus as to like when it's okay to do group text. Like, let's not, text each other before this time or after this time, just not to, impede upon anyone's time. So let people know, hey, I love being a part of these group texts. I don't want to, not be a part of them. I don't want to miss out on whatever it is we're talking about. But, we need to be mindful of each other's time when it comes to, the time of the day, whether it's early, late, whatever it is. Okay. Or if you work or any of that, then you need to be upfront and let people know. The other thing is when you have people who we have to be diligent when we know that we have things that we need to do. Maybe we need to take a nap, or we need to work on our studies, or we have things that we have to do for work, and we are tempted to answer the phone or open the door, or check out what's going on social media. We have to be willing or strong enough to cut that phone off, or cut that television off, or, do whatever it is we need to do to make sure that we are making ourselves a priority. That's a part of setting up boundaries around those people who frequently come into our space when we need to make sure that we are monitoring our time, or we're trying to be better about balance in our life. We have to set up those boundaries. Good morning, Inspired Griselle. How are you? Welcome in. I love your a verse a day. You do such a great job with those. I love those. Good morning, Janine. How are you? Welcome. That's one of my sisters. I'm so excited to see you this morning. All right. So for those of you who just came in, we're just talking about boundaries, the types of boundaries that we need to set up, who we need to set them up around, how do we express them, and how do we get people to respect them. Okay. All right. The next type of person we want to talk about is the dumper, right? Or the complainer, that person that always calls and has, they just want to dump all their life on you, or dump all their issues on you. And you don't mind. You're happy that they trust you enough to express those things with you, but they take up, maybe they take up a lot of your time, and you're getting a little frustrated because, you're hearing the same issue or story over and over again, but they're not working to do anything differently about it. So what do we do with that type of person, right? How do we set up a boundary around that? So the first thing we want to do is let them know, hey, I appreciate that you trust me in this manner, like that you share your life with me. And, I couldn't be more honored that you think that highly of me to share your life with me. But when they call, ask them up front, is this something you just need me to listen to, or something that you need my assistance with? Do you need me to help you with this? Is this something you want my help with? And if they say they just want you to listen, then that's fine. You go ahead and listen and let that be that. But if it's something, again, that you need to limit, then let them know, sure, I'm willing to listen to you. I'm available here for the next 30, 45 minutes, an hour of my time. Go ahead and say what you need to say. And let that be that. But if it's something they want you to help them with, then give them concrete things to do. Okay, maybe whatever it is their issue is, give them some things to do. And then the next time they call, ask them what they did to work on those assignments or those tasks that you gave them to do. Did you look at the scriptures I shared with you? Have you said the prayer that said the prayer that I wrote for you? Or have you called this person to do whatever it is that, to find out about this information, or whatever it is? You want to make sure that you follow up and hold them accountable. Because what happens is that when we hold people accountable to the things that they say they will do, if they haven't done those things, then 9 times out of 10, they're not gonna call you. And if every time they call, you remind them and you ask them, hey, we talked about doing this. Were you able to get that done yet? Or how did things go with that? Then you want to make sure that you hold them accountable to that, which they're asking. And if for some reason they never get to a place where they do the things that you have suggested for them to do, let them know, hey, I'm so happy that you trusted me, but I gave you some things that we needed to do, and I don't know any other way to help you. So why don't you try, this third party person, right? Why don't you try this pastor? Why don't you try this counselor? Why don't you try, this organization or this resource? Whatever other resource we can point them to is what we want to try to do. All right, I'll look at this. I love this. I've grown so much through your communication teaching. God bless you, sis. Thank you so much, Janine. I appreciate that. All right, so let them know if we've done all that we know to do to help them, and then help them try to find other resources so that they're not coming to you constantly with that, dumping, complaining issue. Okay. The next person that we want to look at is the beggar. We all have some kind of beggar in our life, whether they're begging for money, they're begging for our time, they're begging for our energy, whatever it is. We have this beggar in our life. Oh, good morning, Cynthia. How are you? That is my second mother. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. I love you. All right, so we're talking about boundaries this morning, and I'm just going through some different examples of the different types of people that we have in our life that we need to try to set up boundaries around. All right, so right now I'm getting ready to go into the beggar, right? This is the person that's always, whenever we see them coming, we know they want something from us, whatever it is. They never just come to us to be like, hey, how you doing? What's going on in your life? Yada, yada, yada. Whatever it is, they're pulling on us, right? For one thing or another. How do we set boundaries around that? So the first thing we want to do is get firm with our communication with them. We want to turn those I cannot statements to I will not. Okay. Because when we say things like I can't do that, or I'm not going to be able to do this or that, they will begin to work to show us where we can. Right. And that's not what we want. So we have to change our cannot statements to I will not, meaning I'm making a conscious decision not to, help or give or whatever it is that they're asking. So they can't help you come up with an excuse as to why you can. Okay. So I know that maybe I am able, but maybe I'm not willing to. And they need to understand the difference that yes, I can do it, but I'm not willing to do it. And get out of feeling like you have to explain yourself as to why. Okay. Because as soon as we go into this whole explanation thing, they're looking for points of weakness. Okay. They're looking for points where it's like, oh, well, because now it sounds like, well, I want to be able to help you, but I can't because of this, that, and the other. Right. Or I have this going on, or we're doing this today, and I'm not going to be able to help you financially, or I'm not going to be able to do this for you physically, or whatever it is. Well, then they'll just start coming up with ways to help you figure out a way around it, because now they feel like, well, you want to help me, but you have these other things. So let me help you work through those other things so that you can, make me the priority. And that's not what we want, right? We really just don't want to, help or do whatever it is that they're asking for whatever reason that we've deemed it necessary not to intervene. So don't get in a habit of explaining yourself when it comes to beggars. Okay. If you want to help, you feel led to help, do what you feel that you need to do. This is for that person that that you no longer want to be that enabler. Good morning, Vern Junk Closet. How are you this morning? Good to see you. I got my StreamYard going. The positive pusher helped me out with that. So shout out to her. All right. Let's see. Yeah, so stand firm with the reasons as to why you are making a conscious decision to not help the person. And just give me 1 second. I'm gonna grab a little water here. All right, so the next person we're going to talk about is the repeat offender, right? This is the person who is constantly offending us with their words or their actions, right? Every single time we're in their presence, they're saying something to us that we don't appreciate, or they're doing something to us that's causing us harm or pain or distress or discomfort, whatever it is. And every time we're in their presence, it's we can almost feel some anxiety about it, or some irritation about it, or some even anger about it. So how do we deal with this repeat offender who is constantly doing things that are offending us? So the first thing we want to do is start to get a clear understanding. Let them know up front, hey, I know you don't know me, or maybe you do know me, or whatever it is. Or I know that we've spoken several times about you speaking to me in this manner, or doing these particular things to me that I don't appreciate. And yet I see that you don't respect me enough to honor those things. So, at this point, I'm no longer willing to tolerate you speaking to me in this manner, doing these things to me, whatever it is, that they're doing to offend you. Let them know that you don't appreciate it and you're no longer going to tolerate it. Okay, that's number one. If they look at you like, whatever, I'm still going to be me, I'm still going to do who I am, and I don't really care what you think, then that's fine. Get firm around your boundaries. Get firm and let them know what will happen when this offense continually occurs. So if that means you're going to have to hang up the phone, if it means that you're going to have to, limit your time with them, if it means that you're going to have to, make yourself completely unavailable to them for an extended period of time, whatever it is, or not show up to different functions or different things such as that, then let that be. Let that happen. Because, and this can happen particularly a lot with family members, right? Every time we go over to a family member's house, they'll say something out of the way because they're family and they feel entitled to be able to talk to us any kind of way. Or they feel entitled to be able to, do whatever it is they want to do. They don't care, how we feel about it. Well, if that's the case, we can't control other people, but we can control ourselves. So just say, hey, if every time I come over here, or if every time I come over here and speak to you, or if every time I'm in your presence, you're going to be talking to me this way, or you have this to say to me, then I don't have to come speak to you. I won't be here. I will not make myself available to listen to you speak to me this way, or speak to maybe my spouse this way. Maybe they're being not disrespectful to you, but maybe disrespectful to your spouse or your children. And just say, if this is how you're going to continue to talk to us or continue to treat us or whatever, then we're going to limit our time over here, and I want to be able to spend time with you. I want to be able to come over here, but we don't appreciate you, talking to us this way or treating us this way. Good morning, Bio 11. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. We're just talking about boundaries this morning, the types of people that we should be setting boundaries around, how we express that, and how we get them to respect it. All right. So once we let them know that, hey, I'm not going to tolerate this anymore, then we stand firm to what we say we're going to do. If we say we're not going to make ourselves available to them, then we make sure we don't do that. If we say that we're not going to show up, or we're not going to continue to listen on the phone or invite them to particular things, then we don't do that. And they will begin to understand, oh, they were serious. Like, oh, they're definitely not going to, allow me to continue to do this. And they'll either respect it or they'll change their ways. And if they don't change their ways and you have to change the nature of the relationship, then be okay with that. Be okay with that. Don't stress about it. Because if they can't respect who you are, and you allow them just to continue to do or say whatever, then they'll continue to treat us the way we allow them to treat us. So we have to set the boundaries, and we have to set the standards to say, no, this is not how we'll be talked to. This is not how we'll be treated, whatever it is. And then eliminate yourself from their presence. And, hopefully they will change. They will either come back and come around with a different perspective, a different conversation, a different attitude, a different way of, treating you, or they will just stay out of your life. And whichever it is, be okay with it. Okay. We don't have to, coddle people or make ourselves tolerate things that we don't want to tolerate, We don't have to play nice, just to try to make other people feel better. We have to keep ourselves our priority. We are our number one priority, because if we're not good, everyone who's connected to us will also not be good. We will not be able to pour good into them, right? So we have to make ourselves our first priority. Keep yourselves in a good, healthy mental space, physically, emotionally, in every way, so that we're available to do the things that we are called to do throughout the day. Because when we're not good, everyone who comes to us and everyone who's connected to us will not be good. And so therefore, we have to be our biggest protector, our biggest warrior for ourselves. Okay. And then the last one I have, does anyone have any questions? Look here, it says, yes, be honest and serve them some Jesus and the devil will flee. I love it. It says, pray for yourself first and them too. Yes, amen. It is okay to say no. Yes, get comfortable with your no. And I did a whole little lesson on that. So if you are struggling with getting comfortable with your no, please get over there and get comfortable with that. But yeah, let them know, hey, I care about me. If you don't care about me, I care about me. And I'm going to make sure that I'm not going to allow you to treat me or talk to me or, in any way that I would not treat myself. And the last person I want to talk about this morning is the needy person, that person who just can't seem to do anything without you. Okay, hold on just one second. All right. So every time they have something that they need help with or something they need to do, they're calling you on the phone or showing up at your door or, whatever it is, they need your assistance. And we want to be able to assist them, but maybe it's getting to be at a point where it's pulling on us. They're pulling on us too much. Now, instead of assisting them, we're becoming an enabler for them. So how do we deal with this person, right? The first thing we want to do is we want to let them know upfront how we're willing to help them. Look, I'm willing to help you do this under these conditions, within these circumstances, in this manner. Whatever it is, you decide for yourself what it is that you're comfortable, the level that you're comfortable with helping them. Because what happens is we get upset and we get bitter because we allow ourselves to do more than what we're truly comfortable with doing. And when we do that, we're the ones that regret it. So let them know what we're willing to do and under what conditions and for however long. Just say, I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to help you out in the situation for a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is you're comfortable with. Let them know upfront. Once that happens, walk them through the process of what it is that you're trying to help them to do. So, right, we can either give a man a fish and they'll learn how to eat for a day, or we can teach them to fish and they will learn how to eat for a lifetime. So as you're helping the person, make sure that you're showing them and getting them to do it themselves. Okay. Be task oriented when it comes to needy people. So that way you're not the one physically doing it. They're the ones that are physically doing it. You're just the overseer. Okay. So make sure that you are tasking them to do the things and follow up and hold them accountable to what you've asked them to do. Once you've committed to the time, if they take on the responsibilities and begin to fly off and do what they need to do, fantastic, that worked out well. But if not, and you see that they're still continuing because they don't want to, they're not willing to, they just want someone else to do it for them, cut them off. Okay. You have to be strong enough to cut them off and let them know, I've done what I've needed to do. I've helped you how I said I was willing to help you. At this point, I don't have anything else for you, but here's some other resources maybe that you can check out to, help you continue on in this area. And if they call back, let them know, I can't help you. We've been down this road. We've tried this, that, and the other. I don't have anything else. So you'll have to, continue to, or take this route or go a different route. And that's how we get firm. We stand firm. We don't give in. Okay. Don't give in to the boundaries that you have set for yourself and to keep you in a healthy space. All right. So I did. Let's see. That's so important. I had to learn that. Yes, absolutely. All right. So it is 5:29 on my clock. I hope this was a good class lesson for you all. I'm going to be heading off for my day, getting ready for the day. We will be back tomorrow Tomorrow's class session, I believe, is on compromise. Okay. So I hope you all have a beautiful day. I hope that you get strong in your boundaries. I'm going to say a quick prayer and then we'll get off. Okay. Father, we just come thanking you this morning for this day. I thank you for those who have shown up here to hear your word, to hear what you had to say about creating boundaries around our lives. Father, we have to come first, you first, and then us. Help us to be strong in our boundaries, and so that the enemy does not have the ability to come in and take over, create discord in our relationships, cause us to compromise in areas that we're uncomfortable with, and just wreak havoc in our lives. Lord, help us to be strong. Help us to be wise. Give us the words to say when we don't know what to say. Prepare our hearts, prepare the hearts and minds of the receiver of who we have to create these boundaries around. Father, we just know that you intend the best for us. Help us to not be distracted by these things that try to come in and destroy our relationships. So help us to create these healthy boundaries so that we can honor them and honor ourselves and do that which you've called us to do. Focus to be able to do those things which you've called us to do. Father, I just pray for every single person that showed up this morning in the chat, for those who'll be watching the replay, and give them the strength and the courage to say and do the things that they need to do when it comes to creating boundaries. Help them to make themselves a priority so that they can live happy and healthy relationships with those that are in their lives. We love you. We thank you. These things I ask in your son, Jesus' name. Amen. All right, guys, I hope you all have a wonderful morning. Thank you for sharing this. Have a blessed and beautiful day, everyone. Yes. All right. I will see y'all tomorrow morning. Don't be late.